James Gunn, good to see you. First of all, congratulations.
Thanks.
It more than lives up to the original. Now that it's out there and you know it's getting good reactions from audiences that have seen it so far, are there any kind of concerns that are relieved a little bit? Were you a bit nervous going into this one?
No, I was excited because, you know, the last one I was so nervous because I didn't know if people were going to go see the movie or not. And this one I knew that people were waiting to see these characters and what their adventures were going to you know, what was going to happen with them. And that makes it a lot more fun to make the movie, knowing there's an audience out there waiting to see what you're creating.
No, absolutely. And in terms of, obviously, two of the leading characters aren't there on set. You've got Groot and you've got Rocket, you know, they're not there. How does that work in a directing capacity?
Well, my brother Sean plays Rocket on set.
Amazing.
And he's, you know, we use his acting for a lot of Rocket's acting. So he is very, very present.
Oh, great.
Groot on the last movie was a little more difficult. In this movie, we had a little toy that was the basis for what Groot looks like. And that toy was very, very cute. Little maquette is actually what you call him, and so everybody loved that toy.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I was going to say, not to give any spoilers away, but there is a bit of a musical opening, let's say, with Groot. How did that kind of work in terms of directing space? Is that just all done on the computers, or did you have some kind of a...
Yeah, well, I did the dancing for Baby Groot, so that's me dancing. So that was used as the reference for what his dancing was. And that shot took about 2 years to complete.
Wow.
From the beginning, when I first conceived it, and trying to get the shots together like on my iPhone so that I could show the guys what the shot was going to be. I had like this rabbit thing that I was using for some of the shots to show them what it was. And then trying to put it together with a combination of enormous visual effects by a company called Frame Store, and then all the practical elements of the people that we were shooting on wires, and had to piece it all together in a way to make it seem seamless.
Wow, amazing. Again, not to spoil anything, but it seems like in the next installment we could hear music potentially from all manner of eras. You know, there's a new device that could come into play there a little bit. Have you thought about that yet? Will it be all kind of 70s soundtrack again, or are you going to mix it up a little bit?
I think about it every day, all the time, and then we'll have to see in the future what happens.
All right. Have you already got some tunes in your head that you think this might work for the new one?
I do.
I know you won't tell me, but you've got a list going.
I've got a list going.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Let's talk about Kurt Russell, because I mean, what a dream that must be for you to have this legend there. How did you approach him? What was that kind of discussion like?
Well, I gave Kurt the script and asked if he'd read it and check it out and see if he wanted to play this role. And he took it very seriously, and he wanted to make sure that if he played this role, he could do it justice. He knew that this was a big film, and you know, he didn't want to look bad, and he didn't want to hurt the franchise. And so he came to the decision that he could do it, and then and we worked together. And Kurt's a great actor to work with. He's a fun guy. He's been acting for a long time, but he's very down to earth. But he also has a lot of questions. He's a very talkative guy. Wants to know every single aspect of what it's like to be a living planet, and I kind of have to make those answers up on the spot.
Of course. And of course, there's all the pop culture references throughout. Hasselhoff comes up a few times as a reference this point. Why him? Why was that the selection, you thought?
Well, I mean, listen, because who's cooler than David Hasselhoff? I mean, he's the man. He's Knight Rider. He's Baywatch. And I think that's somebody that Peter Quill would really love when he was a kid. And especially, I think, you know, we discover that he's sort of a father figure to Quill. He's who he would want to be his father.
Absolutely. There's the Guardians of the Galaxy ride coming out at Disney.
Yeah.
How involved were you with that? Have you had discussions? Great.
Yeah, I directed all the actors and everybody for that ride, and helped them to choose a soundtrack for that ride. We have a bunch of different songs that we use, and every time you go on the ride, it's something different. And it's very, very fun. I've ridden on it a bunch of times in a row. And even though I was with a lot of friends who got very sick, I was able to plug forward and do
Absolutely. Power through with that one. And of course, you're working on the third installment.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to give anything away, but what stage are you at in terms of working? Is it sort of sketched out? Is it written yet?
No, it's just ideas about where we're going and what the basic stories are. That's it. Yeah. So it's very early days. Yeah.
Okay. Well, exciting times anyway. Lastly, I know you know this film obviously has so much great merchandise to it. I think I found the greatest piece of Guardians merch. Have you come across Dancing Groot yet?
Of course. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
mean, this is the greatest thing ever. You just hit on that yellow button for me. I mean, it's the best thing ever. I mean, how can you not love that? I mean,
I've actually I put a video on Instagram of my cat freaking out on this thing.
Does the cat not like it? Not a fan of Groot?
No, she likes it, but she's I don't know. She doesn't know what to think of it exactly. Yeah.
I can understand how animals would be confused about
Yeah,
what on earth this is, but what a character.
Yeah.
Congratulations, the movie's great.
Yeah,
All the best
thank
luck
you.
with it. James Gunn, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thanks a lot.